Good evening.
Evening, everybody. Good evening. Please hit the subscribe button if you're new to us. I know a lot of our community is here this evening, but if you're new, just hit that subscribe button, the notification bell, because we do go randomly live. So Madonna made a statement yesterday about Gaza, and we weren't actually going to do anything on it. We've had so many people messaging us, asking us to do a live and a bit of a discussion around it. So we thought, let's...
Before we do, if you haven't, do subscribe to the channel, do hit the notification bell, and you will be alerted to all these kind of impromptu lives when anything happens. And it's so hot.
We don't know what we're talking about.
My brain is all over the place. I have received quite a few DMs. People have slipped into my DMs. I think Steph, you were one, saying, "Have you seen this? Show this to Nads. What do you think of this?" Reese Roberts says, "Mark and Nadia, your takes are needed for these things."
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? And I think we need to just have a bit of a chat. As ever, we want to know what you think, because so first of all, why don't we
show an image of who Madonna is? In case you don't know who she is, this is Madonna. I have to say, I think she's looking a little bit more human recently. I think whatever she's done is good. She looks good at the moment. But anyway, this is Madonna.
I don't think that matters what she looks
No, it
like.
doesn't matter, but it matters to her.
Yeah.
This is what she posted. This is what she posted on her feed. Now, I think it's important, just before we read it, remember, we did something similar, actually. We discussed David Beckham's stories. So if you were to compare and contrast two celebrities and what part of their social media they've placed something on, this is more meaningful that it's on her feed.
Well, we'll discuss in full, but so this is absolutely more meaningful if it's on her feed.
Yeah.
But
Most Holy Father. It's very dramatic.
So is this the Pope or is this God?
Well, a number of people asked that underneath. I just assumed it was the Pope because all of the newspapers have reported it as the Pope. But you asked the question.
Well, let's carry on with what else you
Most
said.
Holy Father, please go to Gaza and bring your light to the children before it's too late. As a mother, I cannot bear to watch their suffering. The children of the world belong to everyone. You are the only one of us who cannot be denied entry. We need the humanitarian gates to be fully opened to save these innocent children. There is no more time. Please say you will go. Love, Madonna.
Right.
Can I just then read what she writes underneath it for the full post? Politics cannot affect change, only consciousness can. Therefore, I am reaching out to a man of God. Today is my son Rocco's birthday. I feel the best gift I can give to him as a mother is to ask everyone to do what they can to help save the innocent children caught in the crossfire in Gaza. I am not pointing fingers, placing blame, or taking sides.
So therefore, you're not recognizing it as a genocide.
Everyone is suffering, including the mothers of the hostages. I pray that they are released as well. I am merely trying to do what I can to keep these children from dying of starvation. If you want to help, please join me in donating. And then she lists a number of organizations.
Oh my God! I mean, just
so. What are people's responses?
Yeah, let's hear from
what are
people
your
first.
responses to this? I mean, just because obviously it takes a bit of time for them to come up. I'll just throw out there, it's a difficult one. I felt very strongly that David Beckham posted something that he hoped would disappear and therefore was kind of hiding his support and didn't want to make it obvious.
Well, I think what he did was absolutely horrific.
Yes.
I wished he hadn't done anything, because what he did, it was almost like receiving a copy and pasted email.
Yes.
I doubted whether he'd actually read it because he had just reposted on his stories, so it could disappear in 24 hours.
Yes.
A statement from UNICEF. So he had taken the glory of being a UNICEF ambassador for years. He was now knighted. He is a multimillionaire. He has a beautiful family. He's had the greatest career. He has yachts. He has homes. And yet he could not ruin the aesthetic of his feed to put up, remembering he's a UNICEF ambassador, right? You know, you've taken the glory but you couldn't. So there are just no words left for how I feel about the ambassadors of children's charities that have said would stand up for any other child, but not these children.
And the thing I'm really wanting to kind of draw a sort of distinction between is the fact that there was that sort of post by David Beckham. That was that he had a certain way of demonstrating, whatever you want to call it, an acknowledgement of, a reference to. It certainly wasn't support of the Palestinians. But then you've got people like Bob Geldof, who some would argue it took him a while to come out, but then he really put his neck on the line when he came out, and when he talked and when he did the interviews and when he was on TV and everywhere we heard him, everything he said was extraordinarily critical, deep, risk-taking in that way that, unfortunately it would seem anyone expressing an opinion in support of the Palestinians is taking a risk for some reason. It's weird, isn't it? There's that trope we're not supposed to talk about, but apparently it's really, and it is risky. Everyone finds it really risky. Everyone whispers about it. So everyone saw Geldof as quite brave. My feeling on this, having been asked for our opinion, and then I'll read all of yours, is this sort of falls somewhere in between the two, but there is one part of this whole message that I really take umbrage with. Rhys Roberts, let's start with you. Also, we don't really know the Pope's feelings towards the conflict. Not yet, not this Pope and the genocide yet. The previous Pope was very overt in his compassion and support. And
also the complete naivety to believe that the Pope is going to be safe in Gaza. There is no respect. The IDF are doing everything with complete impunity. I doubt there was a message under the Celebrities for Palestine. Somebody said, I doubt even if the Pope was injured that America or UK or France or anyone would do anything or say anything.
I really don't want to piss on anyone's parade. I guarantee there will be many snipers in the IDF who would with pleasure shoot the Pope. Nothing
is sacred.
Nothing is sacred. Michelle Nye, I think Madonna's statement is quite powerful. Thanks, Michelle. Sarah C., if I had that power and influence, I would be screaming from the rooftops. Happy Sue 41. Why do we expect anything better from these people? We know the people who have spoken out from the beginning and before that.
My thing is, right, and I've said this often. It's like, if you've never commented on anything and politics really isn't your thing, and you don't, your Instagram and your thing is really for something I really don't take umbrage with that. But when I look at people that are multimillionaires and that have had an extraordinary life where the gifts have been beyond the pale, and I think, and they have vocalized so often about their love for children, adopted children from other countries, the pain of the racism that goes into me, racism. Not these babies, not these children. And you know what I want to say? I'm sick and tired of people only saying about the babies that are starving. What about the parents that day in, day out are trying to find scraps of food? The fathers that go out over and over again. And I saw a guy today coming back without a bag of flour. He had a person. He had a dead person on his back. He didn't get flour. Why the racism? That we can only have empathy and sympathy for the babies. I've said this before. I don't think you get past 2 years old and still have sympathy if you're Gazan. I think up to 2.
You mean people's sympathy? Yes, I see what you mean.
Yeah, you're babies.
We've actually had Zionist members of the Israeli government claiming that babies should be killed.
Yes, we have seen that in the government. They have said that.
So, major Zionists, major figures in Israel have
who
talked
say
about
all Gazans are Hamas.
Born Hamas. I just want to home in on one little part of this. Most Holy Father, please go to Gaza and bring your light. As a mother, I cannot bear it. Here, this line. You are the only one of us who cannot be denied entry. I tell you what, he can. The only one who can't.
How do you know this?
Let me tell you, the only one who can't be denied entry is Benjamin Netanyahu. So what? Why
not ask Benjamin
very
Netanyahu?
Powerful if she'd addressed this to him.
She knows him.
We've got photos of her somewhere. Yeah. She's hung out with him.
I cannot bear this. I will not be political. So what you're saying is, I will take no risks. I will take zero risks. I just can't understand it. It's like when people say to me, oh God, it will have affected your career, it will have affected your finances, it would have affected this, it would have affected that. And I think you can't even think about that when you're seeing such atrocities You know, and maybe I should think more about that. Maybe I should, but
sorry, I'm gonna read this.
But how can you live with yourself when you have so much? She has so much, and it's the whataboutism. She's not going to be political. She's not going to take inside. I'm sorry. At this stage, if you're not taking a side, you're condoning genocide.
Well, I was going to say that. I was going to say, I mean, I had the misfortune many years ago of interviewing her, and she was very unpleasant. I mean, to be favourable, she was in a junket situation. She was being asked lots of stupid questions by the press. But and you can't judge a person just on one meeting. But there was a sense in her team that there was there's a big ego there, understandably, and that's not always a bad thing, And as people were saying to us, "What do you think about this?" I thought, well, what do I think about this? I do think it's extraordinary to say anything when you have the levels of success she's got and not feel you can just be clear in terms of stating it and not doing this balancing act. I am not pointing fingers. Well, if you did, I think it might run more meaningfully for everyone, both Jewish people and...
These people are being wiped off the face of the earth.
She's not placing blame. You should.
Thing is, if you are a famous person that has been the person that speaks out and says things and doesn't give a shit, and Madonna is very much that anarchic, she won't listen. And then you come out and it's like, just say nothing. You've said nothing for 2 years. Just keep quiet, keep safe, keep the money rolling in. Just keep the money rolling in. Keep the sponsorships rolling in. Keep the companies paying you whatever they pay you to sell whatever. Just keep that coming in, because we would hate for you to lose a penny.
Okay, well,
that would be awful.
Okay, well, let me ask you this question, not being cynical, because is there an argument that actually, in saying what she said and not taking a side and really keeping it close and going for possibly the only person on the planet, who is as close to possibly being Jesus as possible, which is the Pope, so that's a pretty safe person to go for. You should go in, right? Is this almost still all about protecting her brand, being seen to have said something enough that everyone can go, but Madonna has said something.
It's like when David Beckham put a tiny little story on his stories. Put it on your feed. Put your face to it.
Annie Lennox is a good example. Annie Lennox has been amazing. I mean,
Annie Lennox is a perfect example. She's had a great career. It's funny how often the people that have so much less are willing to risk what they have. Up there in your ivory towers, do you sleep well at night? Annie Lennox, a great example. Denise Gough. Denise Gough is on a complete ascension. She's an amazing actress. She's Irish. She could be cut down like that in Hollywood. She really could. But she goes out, she goes to the marches, she speaks up. I'm just in awe.
Been very out there. Mark Ruffalo,
Joaquin Phoenix.
Let's just, Shirley, not blaming, utter bullshit. Who does this idiot think is responsible for the slaughter of these beautiful Palestinian children? I would rather she kept quiet. Palestine is fashionable and in vogue. You see, the more I sit with it, this is kind of why I didn't want to just smash Madonna for the sake of smashing Madonna.
No, we don't want to smash anyone.
And I think there is a scintilla of truth in anyone of a certain profile acknowledging it in some way. Okay, just playing devil's advocate, could this reach fans of Madonna who never in a month of Sundays would be in any way engaged with this crisis and perhaps would look at it and go, oh God, it's just foreign people in a foreign place? Could this in any way at least throw those people towards a more conciliatory attitude to the whole thing?
Of Madonna will just go, oh, isn't this lovely what Madonna's done? Because it's not powerful, it's not strong, it's not Madonna going, do you know what? And going against, what America demands of you. She is frightened of being called anti-Semitic. And actually what you are doing is you are powder puffing the most horrific live streamed horror story. There's no gray area here. This is happening. Now there's a huge propaganda push from the IDF that children aren't starving. I've got tons of medical reports and photos from my charity Children Not Numbers. You know, it's just laughable that they're trying to pretend that this isn't happening. So when airy fairy ness comes from celebrities, just go away. You know, there are other people dealing with this. Don't come in and powder puff it.
I just want to throw a couple of other names in there. I'm pleased you mentioned this, Rosie Mook. Bono is disappointing. He said he doesn't want to get involved in the Middle East, but puts himself and his wife forward as being humanitarians. Also, I don't know about anyone else. Hang on. I saw him he posted a carousel post, I think a couple of days ago, actually. I should have pulled it up. And it was really quite dense. Self kind of justification for why he's hesitant about everything. Now, this isn't about the fact that everyone should just jump in. Everyone needs to be informed and everyone needs to be careful. You have to be really careful stepping towards this crisis. And I think I'm just being generous in a small way. I think there is a fear. We felt the fear. People feel the fear. And there is a culture and there is an atmosphere of threat.
Feel the fear every day.
No, absolutely. And I just want to pause for a second and just say that one would assume that someone of the power, the size, the wealth, the profile of Madonna, if she weren't to be afraid of that threat, because she stands to lose the least, as with Beckham, as with Bono, it would be so much more meaningful to say,
that's
like Bob Geldof. Yeah, no,
that's
I agree.
My point. Why don't you, with your position, you have earned millions. You have put yourself across, all of you mega famous people, as humanitarians. You know, you've swung the crosses, you've done the Kabbalahs, you've done the lot, you've gone to the ashrams, you've all done it. You've all gone vegan, done your yoga, you've done the lot, the Buddhist, you've done the lot, right? You've had everything that the world can offer, the riches of everything, adoration, beautiful homes, travel, you know, finely tuned menus for your perfections. You know, now is the time to give back for everything that you have had the good fortune to be given. Yeah, that's what I think.
John Wallace says, Nadia, I cannot tell you enough how much of a fan of hers I was, and I'm in pop music forums. Her fans are not impressed. Really? I think this is a really interesting point.
That's really interesting.
Yeah, thanks, John. Louise N. Mark, I think Madonna's post at best will create a vague pity in the unwoke for the famine of children, but not utter rage at the genocide. In fact, I'd go a bit further than that. I think that everything she says is something we'd all say of anything.
It's powder puff. It's a powder puff. It's a powder puff.
You'd say it of any situation. It doesn't take a risk anywhere. And this is the woman who wore pointy bras and took risks. And I was obsessed with her album. I rarely played it.
Do you remember how much she upset the Catholic Church?
Yes.
You know, come on. Yeah. Where is some of that? Do you not want to feel the beauty of solidarity? You know, that's something you've not all had. You've had everything else. What about really affecting change, not safe change? Oh, let's all sing one line from a song, you know, let's all, you know, come on, this is urgent. And as we always say, this isn't just about Palestine. This is a test run for what else they can do across the world. Look what's happening in America. You know, the Sudan, the Congo, the world is a fucking mess. And people have to find courage to say, if enough people and huge names like this, if you cannot find the courage, or maybe you agree with it, maybe that's the problem. But maybe they're not against the genocide. A lot of these very famous people.
So my final line on it, I can see that a few people in the room, Michelle, I know you said a few people feel that the words are good, but I think it's that thing where I think, no. I just want to pause. No, the more I read it too, I go from thinking, then, right, here's the first port of call. Someone of that profile saying anything gets some people over the line and into a place or a position that's more favorable or considerate to the plight of the Palestinians, but it doesn't. All it does is it talks about children in a way that we would all talk about children in any other conflict. So she removes the specificities of this man-made genocidal crisis. She doesn't identify the specifics at all. And in not doing so, you totally kind of disqualify your care for the children.
But she also continues the dehumanization of the Palestinian people. Men and women are not worthy. Only children, because children is the safest place for me to go. I'm just going to stay really, really safe. Don't talk to me about the men and women of Gaza. Don't talk about the universities, the hospitals, the doctors, the torture camps, the thousands upon thousands of Palestinian hostages that are in these horrific prisons, being tortured, no charges. Just stick with babies, Madonna. Just stick with that, because my God, wouldn't it be awful if you lost a Brown partnership?
Mark Holderness, they are all running scared of the Israeli lobby groups. Careful, Mark, you'll fall into the trap, which is the anti-Semitic trope that huge numbers of Israeli lobbyists and influence kind of controls various industries and people's profiles and livelihoods. And then
we're not allowed to say anything.
Well, you're not allowed to say that. But then when someone does say something, who was it about someone that we read the Israeli lobbies were saying we need to finish off their career?
Miriam
Margolis, that's right. The Israeli lawyer, the campaign against anti-Semitism. We need to essentially finish her career.
And we know that anybody, we know that anybody that has any kind of profile whatsoever, we are watched very, very closely.
Nadeem, Dr. Nadeem, why doesn't Bono send proceeds from his current West End show, Sending You Love, Matey, that show should be a prime education, that famine is something ongoing in 2025.
It's just, Nadeem, do check out our interview with Nadeem Crowe. Very damn fine man, doctor.
Nadeem, I would go a bit further with that. I think anyone and everyone and pop stars and musicians can get on board with famines if they can sense there's no political danger.
Yes.
If it's a kind of
politics.
Yeah, but in fact, as we now know, with our new awoken sense of the world, every drought that's happened probably in Africa due to the concentration of populations and the exploitation of the land has all been a consequence of politics.
Exactly. What's happening in the Sudan?
Yeah.
Look at the connection to the gold in Dubai. Amy Liz, what she says waters the message down. She might as well have not said anything exactly other than because she wants attention. And they're just covering the backs just a little bit, because however much Israel says they are not starving people, what are they going to do with the bodies? It's not, and I know they're killing all the journalists, but other people can take photographs. There's going to be photographs, there's going to be evidence.
Absolutely. Live Aid, Red Nose, etc. They've always focused on putting the kids first because they know people are more likely to take notice.
No, it's not just that, YouTube. It keeps them very, very safe from any criticism. That's what it is. Well, managers and agents and PR people and their commercial teams saying, well, where is your character? Where is your character that you can't just say, listen, this is what I need to do?
Just as we get to the end here, is Madonna Kabbalah? Kabbalah is a Jewish mysticism.
I don't know anything about it.
It's a form of mysticism. She hasn't converted to Judaism. She's not Jewish. But it is a sort of, I think it's a sort of mystic aspect of Judaism as I looked into it. So, but you could say she's flirted at the edges of it.
So many of these famous people have done Buddhism though, aren't they? They all go off to their ashrams and do their Buddhism and wear their bloody beads. And Buddhism talks about not harming even a flea.
All said and done, if we had to have a Premier League of where, say, the last three celebrities' public statements stand, I put Geldof at the top. I would put Madonna next, and then I would put Beckham right at the bottom.
With his pathetic,
because he hid it in his stories, and he didn't write any of the words. So
I do wish Beckham and Madonna had just said nothing, just stayed in the shadows where you feel safe. Yeah. There we go. So I'm waiting for the hate.
Okay, guys, listen, if you haven't, do subscribe, do hit the notification bell. Lives like this will happen. You will be notified, and keep the requests coming in. Tell us what you want us to respond to. Ask us. Quickest and easiest way, obviously underneath some of these uploads, but also on Instagram. If you follow me on Mark_Adderley, Nadia Sawalha is Nadia Sawalha, and just leave us messages. Though Nadia is far less likely to see any. She doesn't even see her own family's WhatsApp group, so don't worry about that.
But we in about 5 minutes, this week's How to Stay Married is going up, and we're doing it as a premiere, so we'll be answering your comments as we watch. So in the next 5 minutes.
Okay, guys, just quickly, just going to read this because it's a big comment. And Sarah Jane Greer, hey both, Sarah here. I was in Parliament Square on Sat. It was heartbreaking. I still don't know what to do with my anger about how upside down how this world is. Thanks for being a safe place for us all.
Oh, Sarah, and you look after yourself.
All right, guys. Lots of love, and well, we'll be on the premiere, and we'll see you in the morning for Coffee Moaning. Bye, guys. Bye.